Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Muhammad Danish Darwisy, and today I will be presenting my topic about approximate estimating in construction for the subject Building Economics, DBT 362. Construction project involve a significant amount of money. So, estimating the project cost accurately is very important. Before detailed drawings and specification are complete, construction professionals use approximate estimating to predict the likely cost of a project. This helps clients and consultants make better financial decisions during the early planning stage. Throughout this presentation, I will explain the concept of approximate estimating, discuss the common estimating methods, compare the advantages and limitations, and finally apply one method to estimate the cost of a sample project. The objective of this presentation are divided into five parts. The first objective is to define the concept of approximate estimating in construction and explain its purpose. The second objective is to introduce the common methods used in approximate estimating. The third objective is to compare the strengths and weaknesses of each method so that we can understand when each one is suitable. The fourth objective is to apply one of these methods to estimate the cost of a construction project. Finally, I will evaluate the reliability of the estimated cost and discuss the factors that may affect its accuracy. First, let us understand what approximate estimating means. Approximate estimating is a preliminary estimate prepared before detailed construction drawings and specifications are available. At this stage, there is still limited information about the project. Therefore, the estimate is based on historical costs, data from similar projects rather than detailed quantity take-offs. Although this estimate is not completely accurate, provides a good indication of the expected project cost. It allows clients to decide if the project is finally feasible before investing additional time and money into design stage. This method is commonly used by quantity surveyors, architects, engineers, and project managers during the early planning phase. Approximate estimating serves several important purposes. The first purpose is project planning and budgeting. It helps establish an initial budget before detailed design work begins. Clients can compare the estimate cost with their available budget and decide if any change are needed. The second purpose is resource and funding management. An yearly estimate helps estimate the amount of materials, labor, and equipment required. It also provides supporting information when applying for loans or seeking approval from investors and stakeholders. The third purpose is saving time and cost. Preparing a detailed estimate requires considerable time and effort. If the approximate estimate shows that the project is too expensive, unnecessary work can be avoided before detailed planning begins. Overall, approximate estimating supports better decision making during the early stage of a construction project. Now, I would like to introduce the four common methods used in approximate estimating. Each method uses a different approach to estimate the construction cost, and the choice of method depends on the type of project and the amount of information available. The first method is the unit method. This method estimates the project cost based on functional units, such as the cost per hospital bed, cost per classroom, cost per hotel room, or cost per apartment unit. It's very simple and quick because only the number of units and the average cost per unit are needed. The second method is the floor area method. This method estimates the project cost based on the total gross floor area of the building, measured in square meters. The floor area is multiplied by a historical construction rate per square meter to produce an estimated cost. This method is the most commonly used because floor area method information is usually available during the early design stage. The third method is the cubic method. Unlike the floor area method, this method considers the total volume of the building instead of only the floor area. Because it includes the height of the building, it is more suitable for projects such as warehouse, factories, and multi-story buildings, where the building volume has a significant effect on construction costs. The final method is story enclosure method. This method estimates cost based on the total enclosed area of the building, including the walls, floors, and roof. Since it considers more building elements than the other methods, it generally produces a more accurate estimate. However, it also requires more calculation and detailed measurements. Each of these methods has its own advantages and limitations. The selection of the most suitable method depends on the project type, the available project information, and the level of accuracy required. In the next few slides, I will explain each method in more detail with the formulas and work examples. Now, I will explain the first two estimating methods. The unit method uses a very simple formula. The approximate cost equals the number of units multiplied by the cost per unit. For example, if a new hotel has 150 rooms and previous projects show that each room costs around 60,000 ringgit to build, then the estimated construction cost will be 9 million ringgit. This method is very quick and suitable for projects with repeated units. The second method is the floor area method. The formula is the total area multiplied by the cost per square meter. In the example shown, the building has a total floor area of 600 square meters. If the average construction rate is 1,200 ringgit per square meter, the estimated cost will be 720,000 ringgit. This is one of the most widely used methods because floor area information is usually available during the early design stage, making it practical and reliable for many building projects. Next are the cubic method and the story enclosure method. The cubic method estimates cost based on the building volume. The formula is building volume multiplied by the cost per cubic meter. This method is suitable for warehouse, factories, and multi-story buildings because it's considered building height. In example, the total building volume is 2,400 cubic meters at a construction rate of 150 ringgit per cubic meter. The estimate cost is 360,000 ringgit. The story enclosure method estimate cost based on the total enclosed building area. In example, the enclosure area is 3,500 square meters. Using a rate of 250 ringgit per square meter, the estimate cost is 875,000 ringgit. Although this method requires more calculations, it generally provides the highest level of accuracy among the four methods because it considers the building shape and enclosure. Every estimating method has its own advantages and disadvantages. The unit method is very fast and simple. It is easy for clients to understand, but it ignores important factors such as the size, height, and design of the building, making it the least accurate. The floor area method is practically and widely accepted. We use the actual building area, giving more reliable results. However, it does not consider building height, and its accuracy depends on having good historical cost data. The cubic method includes building height, making it suitable for larger structures. However, measuring the building volume takes more time, and usually height ceilings may increase the estimated cost. Finally, the story enclosure method provides the highest accuracy because it considers the building enclosure. However, it's more complex, requires additional measurements, and may be difficult to explain to clients who are unfamiliar with construction estimating. For this project, I selected the floor area method as the most suitable approximate estimating technique. There are several reasons why I choose this method. Firstly, the floor area method is one of the most widely used estimating methods in the construction industry, especially for commercial buildings, office buildings, residential projects, and institutional buildings. It is recognized for providing good balance between speed and accuracy during the early design stage. Secondly, This method is based on the actual gross floor area of the building. Since the dimensions of the proposed building are already known, it can produce a more reliable estimate than the unit method, which only considers the number of units without taking the building size into account. Another reason is that historical construction cost data per square meter is widely available from previous projects. Quantity surveyors can Quantity surveyors and construction companies can compare similar completed projects and use those rates to estimate the cost of a new project quickly and efficiently. Compared with the cubic method and the story enclosure method, the floor area method is much simpler because it does not require additional information such as building volume or enclosure area. This makes it suitable when detailed drawings and structural information are still unavailable. For these reasons, I believe the flat area method is the most practical choice for this project. It provides a realistic preliminary estimate while saving both time and effort during the planning stage. In the next slide, I will show how this method was applied to calculate the estimate project cost. Project cost calculation. Now, I will explain the calculation process. The building has a width of 26.49 meters and a length of 21.87 meters. Since the building has 2 stories, the total gross floor area is 1,158.68 square meters. The construction rate used is 2,500 ringgit per square meter based on historical market data. Therefore, the estimate project cost is calculated by multiplying 1,158.68 square meters by 2,500 ringgit, which gives a total estimate cost of 2,896,700 ringgit. These figures serve as the preliminary budget for the project before preparing a detailed estimate. Although the estimate provides a useful starting point, it is still considered an early stage estimate. Its reliability depends on several factors. The first factor is location. Because of transportation costs, labor rates, and material price vary from one area to another. The second factor is inflation, which causes construction price to increase over time. The third factor is material price fluctuations, especially for steel, cement, concrete, and fuel. The final factor is site conditions. If the soil is weak or the site requires special conditions, the actual construction cost may increase significantly. Therefore, approximate estimating should always be updated once more detailed project information becomes available. In conclusion, approximate estimating plays an important role in the early planning stage of every construction project. It allows project teams to estimate the expected cost quickly and helps clients decide if a project is financially feasible. Among the 4 methods discussed today, I selected the floor area method because it provides a good balance between simplicity, speed, and accuracy for commercial buildings. Based on my calculation, the estimate project cost is 2,896,700 ringgit. To improve the accuracy of future estimates, I recommend updating the construction rates using current market price, carrying out yearly soil investigation, considering regional cost differences, and including a contingency allowance to cover inflation and unexpected costs. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope my presentation has given you a better understanding of approximate estimating in construction. I am now happy to answer any question that you may have.